What's up YouTube? I'm just another guy and I'm back. I'm finally back. Exams are over. Finished today. Hopefully when this goes up, it would still be today. I don't know when I'm going to upload this. But I've got a lot of days off. Finally back into FM. I was playing it a lot over my half term when I probably should have been revising, but I got back into it. It took me a while. I just kept on fiddling around my saves and I finally went back in my Billericay and I really got back into Football Manager. And I'm hoping to get an episode up a day for maybe a week, and then maybe a day or two hopefully I can upload daily. I'm not too sure how much time. Things like that just means how often I can really record and stuff like that. But for now, I want to do a week of just purely uploading this Billericay Town save because I'm so far into it, so way ahead of you guys. I'm about 11 seasons ahead of this one currently, and this is the 10th season, so it's quite a big milestone for this save in itself. So what I'm going to do is, at the end of this season, I'm going to do like a pretty much a sum up. We're going to have a look at the Premier League, see how that's progressed over 10 years. Have a look at if any teams are really surprising us in terms of how far they've dropped down or how far they've risen up in the leagues, things like that. Maybe have a look at some key players. I'm not too sure yet. Like I said, I would want to say, like, give me some suggestions, but hopefully I'm going to record the next episode after this. I'm not too sure, depends how time plays on me and stuff like that. But anyway, Billericay right now, we are currently back in League 1 after our promotion in League 2. And last time I got promotion to League 1, I sort of said back-to-back promotion was a real possibility. And looking at how I started this season, I realised how naive I was back then. And I know it's kind of cliche to say this, but I really did learn from the experience. And I've been much wiser this time. I've approached my transfers a lot differently. I noticed this on a other video. I watched this a while back, so I don't actually remember what video it was. But I heard the suggestion of maybe ways to search for players. I think it might have been you know, I don't mind. I honestly forgot. Yeah, and I just found out ways to go for transfers, so I started using it. I'll show you in a second when I look at my transfers, and I've managed to sign a lot of great players, well beyond this ability of this league. So, I think this is going to explain why we are where we are. So currently we sit in first place. Yeah, I know first place. We had a game postponed against Portsmouth for pitch conditions and things like that, but we're currently in first place, top of the table by 2 points, in the automatic spots by 2 points, and in the playoff by 9 points. So we are well beyond expectations. We've got a game in hand on Wrexham. It's just been a brilliant season. It's been an absolutely brilliant season. I don't think anything could compare. I definitely didn't imagine this at the start of last season, because I think my squad was probably weaker at the start of the season before I brought in my transfers and things like that in comparison to 2 seasons ago. But the signings I brought in are absolutely immaculate for this level of football. Currently we've played 26 games, like I say. Won 16, drawn 4, lost 6. Have scored 45 goals and conceded 23, with the highest goal difference in the league. We have the 3rd highest goal scored and the 4th lowest goals conceded. So we are doing very well on both of them standings there, which I'm pleased to see. Past positions show our story, in which we've sort of had a mediocre start to the season. I mean, after the first 10 games, we weren't doing anything special. We're in the playoffs. That is a really good achievement, but we weren't doing anything great. If you all these numbers at the side here, if you want to lower them down one, so basically that's 2nd, that's 3rd, that's 4th, and 24th is down there, and 1st is up there. Basically tells you a story of how we sort of struggled at the first maybe couple of games. Weren't doing anything too great in terms of top of the table, and then recently we've picked up a lot of form, which has really pushed us just that little bit further into the automatic promotion spot and top of the table as well. And we sort of bounced between the two now for quite a while, quite a few games. So an absolutely tremendous start to the season. Great first 6 months, and like I say, it's all down to the transfers. So let's quickly just flick through. I'm trying to off Danny Forrest, sorry. Scouting job. He's got some great scouting stats. He's got good coaching stats as well in attacking, but I really want him to be my scout, and this is his preferable job as well. But anyway, so if we go to the outs, so you already know about Steve Arnold from last episode. I had to watch that episode back to make sure I knew what I was talking about. But anyway, I feel a couple of key people to leave is Tommy Lomas, our backup left back, really rotation left back. I wonder if you say backup, that's kind of disrespectful to him. Rotation left back for the past 4 years. Never really let anything up in terms of average ratings. I didn't really mind letting him go at the end of the season, so he's up going to Bristol City in the same league as us and played 8 times, so not bad for him there. A couple of players went on loan. Rob Flint we sold for 20k to Blackpool in the Championship. He had 1 season with us and 31 appearances, 10 goals. Very good record in League 2. But when I show you the 3 strikers we've signed this season, you'll obviously see why I've sold him. But I'll compare the two in a second. Mel Hackney, we're going free to Millwall. Lender Seaman, we only had for a season, let him go out. Tim Jacobson was quite a big player to leave. We've had him since we joined, since we entered League 2, I think, all them years ago. He's been with us now for 5 seasons, and they just sort of faded out for these last 2. Never really played him much. He was always that backup player on the bench. And so I thought, you know what, better let him go again. He's gone out to Wickham, yet to make an appearance for them, so he'd probably just fade out into obscurity, maybe down to non-league again. If he's willing to drop down low, maybe just retire. So I don't know. But it shows that we're progressing in players. The fact that I signed him in League 2 and he was one of our best players. Now that the fact that he's no longer capable of getting in the squad, even as a backup, just shows the progression we've made as a squad. A load of reserve players released. They're just youth players that never made it. We're never going to go anywhere. Loaned out a few more players. New signing there as well. I'll show you in a second. Aaron Byron, we went out, sold. We just had Bella right backs now, and I thought there's no point of having an extra right back. Our wage budget is always tight. It's always going to be the trouble here. Just the fact our stadium is very small. We can't fill in our crowds. We can't bring in the money. So our wage budget is always going to be very, very small. He only made 2 appearances for us last season anyway, so he wasn't going to be great. He was always backup. And when we signed our new right back, there was just absolutely no need for him, so off we went. Aaron Jones went out on a free transfer. Another youth player, never made it. I missed out during my huge chunk of releases there. And just today, actually, we sold Oye Lol. So he had 2 spells at the club. He joined us in League 2 on loan, and he joined us on a free transfer in League 1. League 2 did very well, but this season he just didn't perform really. So he went to MK Dons. So not bad on him there. Anyway, the ins, the more important side, Barry Stevens, we loaned in like we did last season. I think we loaned him at the end of last season, that's why it says that. But we loaned him in. A very good centre mid, got some really good mental stats and physical stats. Shame his technical attributes aren't up to scratch really, but according to the reports, he's very good for us, so he's definitely been playing. Our next signing was Dean Bussey. Deacon Bussey? I call him Bussey anyway. He's the right back we come in. I mean, just look at that, keep that in mind, have a look at some of them key stats there, like influence, determination, bravery, strength, very good tackling, marking, things like that. His attacking stats let him down. I'll do like a good attacking fullback, but it doesn't matter when you see the class in comparison to, I know it's just sort of mean. Aaron Byron wasn't a great player in League 2, but just look at that. Look at the comparison of stats. I mean, we'll quite literally compare the two. I mean, it's just amazing how much it leans towards Bussey, so a great signing there. Next guy was the first guy I really used using my technique. I signed Mark Van Brugel. I think if I say that, I call him Mark Van Brugel anyway. Look at him stats again. Just look at that, and now we'll quickly go over to Oye Lol. No comparison, I don't feel anyway. We'll even do the compare thing. No comparison. I mean, just all towards Mark Van Brugel. Maybe the exception of the physical stats, because he's not got any standout physical stats, Mark Van Brugel. But still, it's just so obvious the difference in players. 1.5k a week. Free transfer, come from Herneveren. I always struggle with that team name. Sorry about that, but that's who I am. And a very good striker. He's actually our backup striker. That's how good our strikers are at this club, I feel. I am sort of biased towards Will Bristol just from the fact of his history at the club, but Anderson Logan, Will Bristol are the 2. Marvin Brugel on the bench, and Nezir Mesic as well on the bench, ready to come on. Next guy was a goalkeeper, Stuart Ferris. We sort of struggled with goalkeepers since getting rid of Marco Ranieri, something I never really fully accepted. I mean, Etheridge sort of did the job in League 2, but never going to really step up. But Stuart Ferris here is a leading League 1 player with the potential to be a leading Championship player. These sort of players, I'm surprised they don't get picked up. I mean, his history shows that he wasn't even good at Linfield. The fact that I've picked him up and I put him into the squad, he's done relatively well. Kept 10 clean sheets, the most out of his whole career, and the season's not even over. Just a very good player, and really good stats again on him. For the key stats you look for in a goalkeeper. Edison Logan, who actually is my first choice keeper, he's done exceptionally well so far. Look at his caps for Trinidad and Tobago, 87 caps, 41 goals. Great goal scoring record for country, so you knew he was going to have a great goal scoring record for club. Look at that, 23 appearances, 10 goals already. I mean, his past clubs, which is San-Jan, some Trinidad and Tobago team, obviously are no comparison to League 1 Billericay and the League 1 demand for a player, but good Championship player, 4-star. I've done really well on the transfers, managing to snap up most of these signings. Henrico Hamerel, he come in as a backup. He's sort of got potential. Maybe I can sell him on in the future. That was the only thinking behind that. And he's on loan at Salisbury currently. Fluvo Amadeo, he's a player that, using my transfer tactic, you sometimes can't really scout players. I can't scout players from Australia because I'm physically not allowed to, as scouting is only European. Maybe at a push sometimes people aren't even allowed to scout Europe, so I took a risk. I saw a couple of stats. I thought, alright, he has some good key stats. He had these good tackling, marking, teamwork, things like that. Shame the rest of his stats are absolutely atrocious, but he'll do well for right now. He's our 4th choice centre back. I don't think he's actually started, has he? He played one game, hasn't started for us at all, so he's going to be back up, and I'll probably sell him on next season anyway. Lewis McGugan, he come in as a backup centre mid. Nothing really, apart from the fact he had good passing. And he's a decent League One player anyway, so he's our 5th choice centre mid. And I don't think he's played. He's made 6 experience actually, 5 starts and 1 sub, just for the fact that fitness is a real concern for me. I do like my squad to be match fit, so not match fit, but really good condition. So I do rotate quite often in centre midfield, and Lewis McGugan has come in and done a job when need be. Ronnie Barber has come in as a centre mid. Again, nothing too great, nothing too special, just the fact that he's a centre mid and able to has a bit of potential in him to grow. I can sell him on. Worst comes to worst, he's a free transfer anyway. 60k would be a nice profit. Craig Smith come in as a backup centre back. Again, work rate, teamwork, determination, quite good. The rest, marking, tackling, nothing too spectacular from him there, but needed for the numbers. Matthew Willock coming as a right mid, as again for numbers, I often do sign players just the fact that we don't have any backup. I mean, when you release this amount of players, you do need to bring other people in to replace them most of the time. Alistair Taylor-Crosdale come in as our left back. Him and Seb Paul, a really good rotation. I mean, look at them, both equal stats. He got some really good stats on him there. Pace, acceleration, mental stats are great. Tackling could be better, but marking and passing is very good as well. Again, attacking stats lack for a fullback, in my opinion. But he's got experience in this league. I saw that. Look how well he played last season. I'm surprised he didn't tie him down to a contract. And we snapped him up, and he's done very well for us so far. And our last 2 were loan signings from Juan Pablo Zagovia. Okay, Zagovia. Again, that play right and left. Good backup again. He is our 1st choice left back, but sometimes I shift Edison Logan out there, the last few minutes of a game or so, just because I want to give my other strikers a go. I do like Mark Van Brugel. I do like Metic. I don't think I actually looked at Metic. I skipped over him there. Sorry about that. Nazir Metic, another striker, very good. I do prefer the other 2 strikers ahead of him, and Will Bristow, Edison Logan, Mark Van Brugel ahead of him. But he's got a bit of potential in him to grow. Again, if worst comes to worst, his value is going to skyrocket due to the fact he actually plays for Brescia and Herzegovina. And yep, apart from that, nothing too special about him. And our last signing was Ralph Petriti. Is it Petrit? Petrit? I don't know. But a fantastic centre mid, our best centre mid by far. Loaning in from Wolves, who are a Premier League side, I want to say. Yeah, Premier League side. Sometimes they can jump in and out of this sort of yo-yo squad, didn't they? Yo-yo club. But really good stats on him. Absolutely great stamina. Tackling, passing is all good, well round. He's a bit of a set piece man by the looks of it. His penalty taking, his free kick taking, and his corner taking are very good. Concentration, composure, good. Mental stats all round. Again, just a good all-round player. Much better into comparison to what I had last season. And he's made 19 appearances and good contribution so far. So overall, you can see from them signings, they've had a really good contribution to the squad, really good match performances, and that is why we are currently top of this table. The fixtures themselves, let's go into them. So we started the season off with our Capital One Cup game against West Bromwich Albion, the Championship team, and we beat them 3-2 in a very good performance. Will Bristow, Edison Logan on his debut, and Craig Smith picking up 3 goals there for us. After we did go 1-0 down, and in fact we went 2-1 down, so we had to fight back twice, and we actually ended up getting the win. So good performance there against the higher league opposition. That really put me in a good mood, good confidence going into the start of the season. Followed up with a 2-0 win against Rotherham. Will Bristow and Jones Diallo getting us the 2 goals. And then we beat AFC Wimbledon 1-0 in their first ever game in their new stadium, AFC Wimbledon Stadium in Kingston upon Thames. So the fact that they were having their season opener and all that build up before the game, I thought, oh, I'd love it if I beat them. And Juan Pablo Zagovia actually did go and get us the goal, as Mick Mellor got man of the match as well. So we had to be good defensively, as you can see. We didn't dominate possession or anything, and we very evenly fought, but managed to nick that goal in the hour mark and ruin their day, which should be really historic. Should be the first day, first win at the stadium. But we will go down in history scoring the first ever goal in their new stadium, and they will go down in history as losing their first ever game in their new stadium. So not really the way you want to start off a sort of fresh start at a new place. Then won our next game 4-2 against Scunthorpe with Barry Stevens, Will Bristow, Juan Pablo Segovia again scoring for us very well, and Mick Mellor getting 4 goals before half time. They did get 2 back in the end, but 4 goals in the first half. If you overturn that, it's really poor defensively. We would have had to have been Couldn't beat Premiership side Everton in a Capital One Cup second round game as we lost 3-1 to them. And that caused a bit of bad run of form as we lost 1-0 to Kidderminster and 1-0 to Wrexham. We were actually up here right now, so looking back, you couldn't really say it was a bad game. I mean, you're always going to struggle against team top of the table, no matter how high up there you are. We then beat Gillingham 2-1, Will Bristol picking up a double. However, we couldn't continue that run. We couldn't continue that win with another win, as we lost 2-1 to Rochdale with Mick Mellor picking up the consolation goal in the end. Then won 2 games on the bounce with high-scoring games. 7 goals in 2 matches is a great ability for any squad to be able to do. Juan Pablo Segovia got back on the score streak once more. Will Bristol picked up another goal and Ralph Petit scored. Edison Logan picked up a double then in the Stockport game, along with Ralph Petit scoring the penalty, the set-piece man, like I said, and Will Bristol scoring a goal for us as well. Again, though, 2 wins in a row, couldn't continue any good form, couldn't get a run going like we did at the start of the season with 4 wins in a row, as we lost 2-1 to Brighton with Will Bristol again picking up a consolation. But at least we didn't lose this game against Torquay as we drew 1-1, a late goal from Edison Logan picking up the draw for us there, as Alistair Taylor-Crossdale picked up an injury. In Johnston Paint Trophy, I actually wanted to win this time, and looking at where we're on the league, promotion is a real possibility, so we may never get a chance to win the Johnston Paint Trophy again. So the fact we got knocked out in the first round in penalties to MK Dons, despite the fact we absolutely dominated the game, and only an early goal from them was what held them on really, and a good defensive display to prevent us from winning that, as Will Bristol, Logan, Barber and Messick missed a penalty, as both teams missed 4, but in the end MK Dons went on to win it. That was disappointing there. Then we won 4 games on the bounce, 3-0, 1-0, 2-0 and 1-0 against Forest Green, Bristol City, Crewe and Colchester respectively. With Craig Smith, Mick Mellor and Will Bristol scoring for the Forest Green game, Will Bristol scoring for the Bristol City game, Lewis McGugan and Edison Logan scoring for the Crewe game, and Lewis McGugan again getting another goal in the Colchester game. So we're putting a shift in, like I said, like I expected him to do in the rotation role, as players do often get tired around the stage. Drew 1-1 to Millwall. I mean, last time we played Millwall in this division a few years ago, we absolutely battered them, something like 7-0, I think. So, the fact that they managed to keep it decent this time, I take my hat off to them. They've definitely developed a bit. Anyway, moving on, our first FA Cup game, we won 2-1. I want to go on a run in the FA Cup again. The financial benefits will really benefit us. Like I say, financial benefits are of course going to benefit us, but they will benefit us hugely in the financial section because we are still in a massive bit of debt because, like I said, we can't really bring in the crowds to bring in the money. But we won 2-1 against Lincoln, bring us through to the next round. Then won 3-1 against Doncaster. I don't know what. Something hard to speak. What the hell? Oh, we then won 3-1 to Doncaster. Seb Paul picking up a goal and a Messick double. Following it up with a 2-0 win against Accrington. We then lost our first game in a long time to Sunderland. I know many people see them as a big team. I still see them as a big team, and the fact they're underperforming in the league this season is disappointing. But 2-1 loss in the end of the day. Mark van Brugel picking up the consolation. I mean, like I said, they are a big team in my eyes, so I'm not disappointed there. We then won 3-1 against Sheffield United, with Matthew Willock getting his first ever goal for the club, and Will Bristol picking up a double, as he often does for us. In the FA Cup second round, we drew 1-1 with Forest Green in our division. Edison Logan picking up the goal there, so forcing us to a replay. We then drew 2-2 to Chesterfield, meaning we couldn't get that goal to give us the win yet again, as Edison Logan and Will Bristol scored 2 goals, both our strikers getting on the score sheet. We drew 1-1, we drew 1-1 through, 2-0 again with Doncaster, so 3 draws in a row is disappointing. Then we lost our replay game. We lost 2-0 to Forest Green. Disappointing game here. 3-0, sorry, I misread that again. 3-0, look at that. Look how many shots we had and we didn't score a goal. Shots on, it's just an absolute joke, really. We should do a lot better there. Defensively, we weren't great, but attackingly, we let ourselves down. With all them chances, you need to be scoring at least 1 goal. And the fact we conceded 3 and they only had 3 shots on target, it's just annoying. We bounced back, got a bit of revenge in the league, winning 2-1 to Doncaster, with Mark van Brugel and Messick scoring at 2 different strikers. I was that annoyed that I changed both of the starting 2. Then lost 2-0 to FC Wimbledon, so they got their revenge on us getting a win at their first ever home game in their new stadium. So I'm going to be happy with that, a bit of revenge. I bet their fans were cheering all the way home. And then Edison Logan and Will Bristol scored again, quite often as they do. I mean, look at that. Look at the past fixtures. They do often score at the same time, maybe probably another time in the past, but they do often score either one or the other or both as they win 2-0, and they proved it yet again with a 3-0 win over Kidderminster, Will Bristol with a single and Logan with a double. So as you see, we can produce a bit of form every now and again, but these sort of blips of inconsistency need to get rid of if we want to win the league. Not too many games left, about just less than half a season, I believe. Played 26 games, so we played a few more than half, so just under half a season left, and we're doing very well. So, team stats, you already know about that. Player stats though, Mick Miller is almost the highest average rating player. He's a really good player for us, still proving it yet again that he can make a step up as he gets one of his highest average ratings ever. Almost matching his League 2 days back then when he only played 26 games. So really, he's having a great, absolute stormer season this season. Despite the fact it says he's probably met his peak, I still think he's got a lot left in him, because if he's performing of this consistency, if he's valued at 2.9 million, he's obviously got something left in him. Jones Diallo picked up most assists from the left. Didn't give him his chance last year. Last time we were in League 1, I only played him 28 times. And then he did so well in League 2 last season, I thought I've got to give him his chance in League 1, and he's showing he's worthwhile, and showing that I made the right choice by giving him that first choice left attacking mid-roll. Will Brister is almost top goal scorer, 2 goals behind Naby. And shots on target ratio, Will Brister is up there yet again. So important stats I like to look at, as always, net transfers spent. We actually made 30k in comparison to the rest. It's pretty average though when you look at the likes of Sunderland and Brighton having to sell because of relegation. Stadium sellouts, we have 0. We just can't bring in a crowd. Average attendance by capacity, 59%. Still not really bringing in enough. I mean, we're a small club in a big league for us. So really we should be filling out our little stadium. It's not too much to ask, I don't think, anyway. And salary per annum, it is the smallest in the league. So the fact that it's the smallest in the league, top of the table, great manager. I'm joking. Any awards that we can talk about? Do we have any awards? I think we should. I mean, we're top of the table if we don't have a couple of awards. I mean, we have not won Manager of the Month personally. Why am I looking at Manager of the Year? Why am I looking at Player of the Year? Player of the Month. We have no one up there, surprisingly. That's quite weird. We had our 2 proteges, Will Brister and Mick Miller, in there. Team of the Week. Probably have a couple in there every now and again. Top goal scorer, of course, that's not going to be handed out yet. And Young Player of the Month. Nope, no one in there again. So surprisingly, we're top of the table, but yet not getting any awards for consistency and things like that. So don't know whether that says something. I'm not too sure. I talked about our finances. Financially, we're not doing too great. Again, we're going to be in our negatives, I feel. But look at this, as this little bump up shows that at the start of the season we do get our money in from getting prize money, finishing well in the league and things like that. We've still got our bank loans being repaid for a long time yet, still yet to come. So hopefully they won't affect us too much. I mean, we're only one we're really worrying about is the bank loan for 3.8 million for the stadium. But apart from that, I don't think we have too much news. We have too much landmarks. I got a new 5-year deal, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm not exactly going to move anywhere. I haven't showed you my staff. I've actually grown in my staff, getting promoted to League 1. They allow me to sign a few more staff members. So I got Lee Dames in as our scout. Not bad scouting stats. Per Mertesacker in as our technical coach. Josh Rothwell in as a scout. Steve Jones in as a physio. Ron Morgan in as a physio again. I mean, why not use a scout if I can? Why not get a couple more physios in and a couple more scouts in if I can? Klaus Salamata in as another scout. Who's he used to play for? He must have played for some good teams. And don't know many of these. Schalke at the start of his career. I mean, that's the only one I really knew. Mario Flinger coming as another scout. Because if you get scouts from other countries, they give you information. If I go on my reports, I think this is how I found a couple of my players actually. If you go on your scout reports main and you know have a look at some good players and you go, oh look, here's one here. It's a bad example. If we go add condition, nationality, Europe, Germany, he's going to have a lot of scout reports on German players that I wouldn't exactly know about. See, this guy here is a player that I could sign because he's German. I signed a lot of German scouts and it gives me more knowledge about German players. So there's a couple of recommendations. If you're going to try and sign some scouts, get some foreign ones like Austria and Germany. That way you can build your knowledge of Europe and allow yourself to bet more players. And I was going to say, I forgot to actually do this. I'm going to show you how I find my players. I'm going to try and actually sign Francisco Arvado if I can. If I have to try and sell a keeper first though. So what I do is I actually do this. I click on my ability. I go, right, find me a player that's expired, unrealistic targets eluded and excluded and things like that. And find me unrealistic targets. Okay, here's all these players. But if I don't know my scout reports, I click on international and I click on team. Now I look at some of these guys. And I'll just look through, and here's a guy actually of a great example. You see he's got 95 caps for Jamaica, so I think, alright, he must be good. Jamaica's not a bad national team, really. Alright, he's got some good stats, I'll approach to sign him. Okay, he wants to be approached to sign, he doesn't want a lot a week. I'll sign him, I'll take the risk. If I can, I'll try and offer them a trial, and I'll try and get them in. So that's what I really do. I mean, I'll go through these national teams. I think, alright, Australia's quite a good national team. He's not a regular though, so probably wouldn't want to get him. Plus, I don't like wingbacks. These are for players that I haven't got scouted, like Canada. I look at here and go Canada. I go, oh, he's got some good, nice stats on him. See if I can get him on a free transfer because he's at a club. Alright, he wants quite a lot a week, so probably won't be able to get that. So yeah, this is all I do to get my players in. That's how I've signed all these foreign players. The fact that I've bolted up on foreign scouts and things like that, which has improved my knowledge of places like Holland and things like that. But I've also looked at national teams like, alright, he hasn't got Cap. He's an example of the scout. But Messick is an example of an under-21 player. Had a lot of under-21 caps, so I thought I'd better sign him down. Logan is an example of someone with the international caps. Amadio is an example of the under-21 caps. Trying to think of anyone else is an example of the rule that I just showed you. He definitely is. I think that's pretty much it. But if you use that trick, if you use internationals as an as an indicator whether these players are good or not, if they play for a good nation, like Slovakia, maybe I didn't have this guy, but Slovenia, sorry, not Slovakia, you see that he's got some really nice stats in him, I'd approach to sign him. But I don't actually need another striker right now, and I see he's got experience, and I can actually scout him. But that's just an example if you can't scout. So, it's been a quite long episode, actually. But that'll be it for now, guys. I'm looking at this guy anyway. But this will be it now for guys. We have a very big 6 months ahead. Not 6 months, sorry. A very big remaining months left. Few months left in the season where we have a huge chunk of games to play. But hopefully I'll have some good news. Hopefully we can get back to back promotion because it really is a possibility this time. And that's not being optimistic in any way, shape or form. If we're top of the table come January, we should be doing very well come the end of the season. So until then, until the end of the season, where, like I say, I'll go through all the clubs, show you how teams have progressed, maybe like Man U, Chelsea, things like that. Show maybe some key signings, key transfers, etc., etc., etc. Until then, peace out.